For those of you that don't know, you can make a lot of money selling roofs. I make more money than most people will ever make. I have to start making money or I am going to lose a lot. I ended up coming back to another company where I used to work at. You need to be disciplined. You don't need motivation. You have to learn to live below your means. Getting rid of the bad friends. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. It's your boy, Chris Mo Speaks. And in today's episode, we're basically talking about me coming back. Guys, it's been a long time since I made a video. I don't know what happened. I think I just got struck by life. But I wanted to give you guys an update of where I'm back, where I'm at in my life. I basically decided to come back to California. I think the last video that I made was talking about how I was moving back to Florida. Well, that didn't work out. I ended up coming back to California, and my life has been kind of crazy where I actually decided to take some time off of making content, and I finally decided to come back because, dude, I just missed it. I missed making content. I missed making videos, and I missed talking about my life. Again, I like to document my journey just so I can go ahead and tell people where I started and where I'm going. And if you guys don't know me, my name is Chris Mo. I'm a high-ticket salesman here in the Los Angeles area. I've done over $5 million in construction sales. I own over 50 ATMs all over LA. And yeah, I like to do cool shit with cool people, and I like to talk about business. And that's really what this channel is about, is going ahead and helping people, basically trying to make a lot of money with y'all. I want to do whatever I want with them whenever I want while being joyful. That way, hopefully, you guys can do the same. And I would just want to be the prime example for you guys. That way, you don't have to make the same mistakes that I make, and you can just learn from my mistakes, and we can all get there a lot faster. So, guys, in today's video, I basically just want to catch you guys back up on, like, what happened over the last couple months, why I came back to California, and these couple of lessons that I learned over the last couple of months because, dude, I went through some stuff, and I really want to share with you guys what happened, where I'm at now, and where I'm going. But don't worry, guys. My life is freaking amazing now. I have everything working in this place. I cannot be any happier. That's why I did decide to come back to making content and actually taking this thing a lot more serious because, guys, I don't know. I guess I wasn't posting for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden I was seeing like my old videos get a bunch of views and a lot more subscribers, and I'm like, dude, like, why did I stop? I should have kept going. I should have kept going, and this is what I really want. So let's just keep going. So let's get into it. I have a couple of talking points that I want to talk about. Guys, I do want to go ahead and start making these things a lot more consistent. So I decided to actually learn to communicate a lot better by not making mistakes. That way, my editor doesn't have to cut out a bunch of these things, and I could just shoot it and just talk on camera without having to make mistakes. That way, my editor can be pushing out these videos a lot faster, and you guys can receive a lot more content. And honestly, I don't care because I'm actually a really good communicator. That's why I am really good at sales, because I know how to talk, and I can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. Anyways, guys, let's catch you guys back up. So I ended up coming back to LA back in, like, I think early January of last year. It's already been pretty much like almost a year and a half that I decided to come back. I think the last video that I made, I was actually going to Florida because I was going to storm chase out there, and it didn't work out. I actually ended up getting screwed over by a contractor over there. Dude, I don't know. The insurance game changed. So for those of you guys that don't know, I sell roofs. I sell construction services. So anything that you want in a house, mostly roofing, I sell. I sell mostly retail. That's what I used to sell before I left. Now I currently sell it again. Whatever. So for those of you that don't know, you can make a lot of money selling roofs. And I decided to go ahead and actually pursue a different type of venture, because in this industry, you can do what's called insurance roofing sales, which is mostly on the East Coast, not on the West Coast. On the West Coast, it's a lot more retail sales. So I decided to go to the East Coast and give it a try because I heard, hey, it's a gold rush. You can make this and this and this amount of money. So I'm like, you know what? I have no kids. I have no family. Like, who cares? Like, let's just go. So in literally less than a month, I decided to go. I met some person that owns this roofing company out there, and I don't know, like, he picked me up from the airport. I was living in the middle of nowhere, and dude, it was like crazy. And if you guys haven't seen my video, I think I made one video about it a long time ago. Either way, I went there, and dude, when I got there, it was like a crazy war zone that I've never experienced a hurricane. I don't know what a hurricane even looks like, but this was a really bad hurricane. It was called Hurricane Ian at the time. It's hurricane season now as we're talking about it. Um, but yeah, I went there. I had no signal. I literally went with like a couple $1,000, and this guy was supposed to house me, and he did. But I started getting a little bit of like these shady vibes from the person, and then soon enough, like I started learning more about the insurance game and how it worked, and it was a completely different thing. It wasn't anything of what I was thinking it was going to be, and I was like, you know what, like I did my calculations, and I'm like, fudge, I came here too early. Like in insurance, when it comes to selling roofing through insurance, it takes a really, really long time. Even here, like I recently went and got some insurance sales, and it's still 2-3 months after the insurance company is like approving it that we still haven't even completed it. So I went there too early. It was too many people there. The insurance game has completely changed in Florida, and I decided to come back. And I'm all like, you know what? Like, this isn't for me. I'm going to run out of money. I need to leave. And plus, I started getting these bad vibes. I was able to sell. Like, I sold some contracts, some contingency contracts for the person, and he was going to pay me like $500 per contract. But there was this thing where, like, I would have to, like, be on him to try to pay me. And, like, there was expenses that were business expenses that he had to refund me. And I just started getting this bad vibe from the person. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't think he's doing business the right way. And soon enough, if I calculated how much he owes me about like $10,000. And he said he was going to pay me. Even after I left to California, he reached out to me and said, hey, like, I'm going to pay you. I owe you this and this amount of money. In my calculations, he owes me as little as like $8,000, as high as $20,000. I don't know because I don't see the books. I don't know what these roofs are even selling for. But all I know is he owes me money. So I want to say he owes me at least $10,000. But either way, like, I was there and I didn't want to give up. And I was like, hey, you know what? Like, screw this guy. I'm getting bad vibes. I left the company that I was at, and then I was solo. I went on Indeed trying to find another roofing company, hitting everyone up like, hey, like, I'm a salesman here, like, from LA. Like, I'm trying to storm chase, blah, 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 blah. I found another company. I found a couple companies, but it was the exact same thing that I was getting until I finally found a company that was legit. But they were trying to expand to where I was at, which is, like, Southwest Florida. And same thing, like, it was just too early. It was a great company, don't get me wrong. Like, I had no beef with them. It was just too early, and they were just expanding, and it was just a brand new thing that, honestly, it got to the point where, like, I started thinking about my life, and I was like, you know what, like, why did I leave? I had it really great in LA. I have really great connections in LA. I was selling like crazy in LA. I should just go back. And I was gonna run out of money. So, dude, it was like the worst time of my life where I was literally down to like fucking negative money, and I was barely eating like one time a day, and I just needed to get back. So at one point I had to cut my losses, and I said, hey, you know what? You just came here too early. Insurance is cool. You can sell and make a lot of money in insurance. I know a lot of people that do make insurance. They sell roofs, and they make a lot of money selling insurance, selling roofs through insurance. But it's just not for me. At the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people in the insurance game, they just try to like go down to the smallest price when it comes to roofing, and I'm just not about that, you know. So I decided to come back. I reached out to a couple companies, and then luckily the companies that I used to work with, they more than were happy to take me back. And yeah, dude, one thing is that I'm never gonna see the money that this guy owes me, so that kind of sucks. I ended up coming back to another company where I used to work at, and dude, this company was not also the best. As a matter of fact, it no longer even exists. It went bankrupt, and dude, all I know is not everyone knows how to run a company. And I was there because one of my closest friends worked there, and then dude, I came back with such a great energy because, dude, I was down to like negative amount of money, and I was like, oh hell no, I have to start making money or I am going to lose a lot. And by lose a lot, at the time I had a couple ATMs. I think I had like 8-10 ATMs. And if I started like not being able to pay my debts, then I was gonna have to start selling off the ATM company, which I didn't want. So I don't know what happened. I ended up getting like this whole energy of like, hey, you gotta sell, you gotta sell, you gotta sell. I came back, I started selling like crazy. And then same thing with this owner. Like he just didn't know how to run a company. Leads were horrible. And I was like, dude, there has to be another way. And then luckily another company reached out to me and said, hey, like, are you willing to come back and work for me? And I was like, sure, like, let's talk about it. I went over there, talked about it, and they wanted me back, and then I'm like, cool. I went there because, dude, life is great working there. Like, I love working there. I'm currently still working there. It's called Roof Repair Specialist. Love these guys. I currently work there right now. Life is great. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be back on my feet without them. So I love it, and I want to start sharing a little bit more about like my side of the roofing stuff, so you guys can see that, you know what, I want to bring the trades back for a lot of people, where like, hey, you can make a lot of money in the trades. You don't need to go to college. You can go ahead and sell roofs, do roofs. You can sell windows, do windows. You can do a lot in the construction world, and a lot, unfortunately, my generation just doesn't see it, and I want to be a prime example for them to see it. So luckily, I went ahead and came back and I started killing it with them. I don't know, for some weird reason, California went through this whole rainy season where it was the worst rainy season in freaking I think it was 2020. It was like 2 years ago. 2022 was like the worst rainy season. There were so many appointments. It was crazy. Business was booming back in the days. I did 1.7 million in sales last year. If anything, I did like 2 million, because the company I was at, also the one I left for this current company, that guy screwed me out of $10,000. He currently owes me $10,000, and he just went bankrupt. So I don't think I'm going to see that money again. So, dude, I went in the hole in credit cards because 2 people owe me over $20,000. And that shit freaking sucks. And that's why, like, one of the lessons I want to tell you guys is, like, get everything in writing. Because, like, I can't prove the guy over there in Florida owes me money. I can't prove that this Clear Energy guy owes me money, because there's a lot of paperwork that got lost, and it's not worth my time or the amount of money that it's going to take in lawyer fees and all this stuff to even recoup just $10,000. It's probably going to cost me like close to half or even more of that to even recoup some of that money. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to take it as a life lesson and realize that if you do business with anybody, make sure that you guys get it in writing. So that is one of the lessons I came back with to California, is make sure you get everything in writing, because you never know when someone's going to owe you money and when someone's going to screw you. Because at the end of the day, I like to do business really fairly. I want to make sure that both parties win, but not everyone is like me. Not everyone will be like me. And I've learned that in the construction game. I've learned that in the ATM game. I've learned that in just business itself. There are sharks out there. There are people that don't care. And there are people that are going to go ahead and screw you over just to win, because there's people that value money and winning over relationships, unfortunately. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, and I don't want you guys to ever get messed up or be put in a situation where somebody owes you money. So if you can learn something, is just get everything in writing. That's talking point number 2. No, talking point number 1. Talking point number 2 is going to be staying positive. Discipline is better than motivation. Guys, I am not motivated every single day to wake up at 6 in the morning, go to the gym, go run appointments, make sure that I get my sales, make sure that I result everything, make sure that I do this and that and everything else that I do. I don't always feel like it, right? But the only thing that I tell people is that you need to be disciplined. You don't need motivation. Motivation is one of those things that can come in for just a quick 30 seconds, maybe a day, and then it's just going to leave, and the next day you'll feel the same. The reason I am at where I'm at right now, which is already making 6 figures by the age of 23, I'm currently 27. I've done over $5 million in construction sales. If anything, now I'm at $7 million in construction sales. I have over 50 ATMs from just 4 ATMs just a couple of years ago. And I have beautiful relationships and the best shape of I have ever been. And that's just all through discipline. It's not motivation. I have really very little. There's things that motivate me, but mostly it's just discipline, doing the same thing over and over again and slowly making small little progresses. And I can say today that I am not the same person that I was 6 months ago. I'm not the same person that I was 2 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was even years and years and years ago. Like, it's crazy to me how far I've come. And it's really just because of discipline. And it doesn't matter how I feel. I just keep showing up, keep doing what I'm doing. And that's one of the things that I want to engrave in all of my people that see me and everything that I do, is that you just got to keep showing up. You just got to keep doing what you have to do regardless of how you feel. And I promise you, you will get the results that you want. Discipline. Discipline, not motivation. So talking point number 3 is living below your means. What it means to be on a sales commission only lifestyle. So, guys, I live without knowing how much money I'm going to be making the following week or that month. That's part of being a salesman. Being on a salesman on a commission only pay scale means that you're playing big risk, but there's a high reward to it, meaning I make more money than most people will ever make because I have the potential to make an unlimited amount of money depending on my performance. That's how I keep on showing up, because if I don't sell, I don't get paid. What that means is that I need to be able to manage my money properly. And I tell this to a lot of salesmen coming into the game. You have to learn to live below your means. And not just any salesman, just people my age, people that are younger. You have to learn to live below your means, meaning you're not spending thousands of dollars and a bunch of these expenses. Like I tell people, I live in an apartment where I pay $1,000 a month and I make over $10,000 in a month. Why? Because I don't like the headache of like not knowing, or the stress or the anxiety that comes with that comes with knowing that I'm not gonna have the money to pay for a bunch of these stuffs next month. That's why I don't have these ridiculous expenses, because I don't know if I'm gonna have the money. That's why I try to live below my means as much as I possibly can, considering the fact that I also have this debt that I accumulated from these guys owing me money and screwing me over. I have to go ahead and wipe out that debt this year, and I am literally on track to hit that by the end of this year, which is great for me because I'm happy, I'm excited, because next year I know if I continue to grind it out for the next 6 months, I will be in a whole completely different space, probably in a whole different apartment, and life is going to be great. But guys, you have to live below your means. You have to live less than 30% of what you guys currently make. So don't go by like what you see online on people spending money on this and that. Like, I don't spend money on a bunch of things. I probably spend more money on knowledge and things that are going to pay me back more money and reinvest a lot of my money, because that's what you have to do in the early ages. Like, the reason I got to like from like 8 ATMs, like from the time that I left to Florida to up to over 50 ATMs now, is just literally saving my money. If it wasn't for the fact that I was saving my money, just last week I went ahead and bought 2 ATMs, right? And I needed $8,000 to take over those ATMs. If I didn't save my money, I wouldn't be able to reinvest and get those other 2 ATMs that are gonna bring me another $400 a month. So little things like that. You need to have cash in hand. You need to make sure that you're ready for an opportunity that does come your way so you can invest that money. I'm at a point in my life where I just reinvest a lot of my money. I don't care about how I look. I don't care about like buying fancy things, fancy clothes, and all these little things. The most I spend on is education, lifestyle. I would say, like, when it comes to like travel and maybe a little bit of food, I've calmed down a lot in regards of going to restaurants, because I know when I first started in the industry and I was making over $100,000, I did my taxes at one point and I spent like over $30,000 in just like restaurants and stuff like that. Then again, I am a single guy here living in LA, so I love restaurants. That's like where I love to spend my money at, in food. But I learned to kind of turn that down just a little bit, or a lot more bit, where I'm cooking more inside, because again, I'm reinvesting a lot of my money because I'm getting older, guys. I can't continue to live that party lifestyle that I used to live. I am trying to reinvest my money, so by the time that I'm 30, 32, even 35, I'm golden. Like, I am really, really golden, and I have this whole 10-year plan to get there, and it's going to be crazy, and I'm going to take you guys on the journey with me, because, guys, life is great, and I want to be one day 70 years old, look back at these videos and be like, hey, you know what? This guy did what he said he was going to do, and he was in a whole different predicament, and he did it. So, guys, if you guys are going to do sales, or you guys want to make a lot of money, or you guys want to be financially responsible with your money, make sure you live below your means. That is going to help you tremendously, especially when you're moving from state to state. Like, dude, you need that money. If I didn't have money saved up, I wouldn't have been able to go to Florida, and I wouldn't have been able to come back. So save your money, because you never know when you're going to need it. The next talking point is going to be 4, which is learning to say no. And saying yes to something and saying no to your dreams, being alone, is the journey. That's what I wrote down for it. It took me a long time for me to realize this, but you have to be able to say no to a bunch of these things when it comes to like hanging out with friends, drinking, not eating certain foods, studying instead of doing something else. Whenever you say yes to something, that means you're saying no to something else. And I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard it from some little clip on YouTube or something, or like on Instagram. But it makes sense, right? Where if you decide to go ahead and go out on a Friday night, like right now, I decided to make this video instead of going out on a Friday night, I'm saying no to possibly getting YouTube followers, getting the social status that I want from making videos and creating content and documenting myself, right? When am I gonna have the time to do that, considering that I'm doing sales, going ahead and freaking running the ATM business, and then doing a bunch of these other freaking side hustles that I got going on. So in order for me to optimize, I can't afford to waste one Friday night trying to go out with my friends or doing all these things. And a lot of my friends know this. And a lot of my friends know this where I tell them, hey, like, I can't go out with you. Or, hey, I don't want to do that. Or, hey, if it's not productive, sorry, but don't invite me. It's gotten to the point where I've said no so many times to my friends where they're like, hey, you know what? Like, we're not going to invite Chris. Like, I rarely get invited. If anything, I do the invitations to a lot of other people. And there's very few people who I even want to hang around with. Which brings me to like my next point and my final point, which is getting rid of the bad friends. So you become the 5 people who you surround yourself with, and I'd rather be alone than with bad energy of people who aren't on their shit. So going back to like saying no to things, usually those people that are saying do this, do that, are usually bad people with like bad influences and, you know, just want to live like a normal lifestyle. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to be normal. I don't want to have a normal lifestyle. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to hang out with these loser friends that I tend to call. That's why I've learned to cut out a lot of bad people. Where like, hey, if you're negative, I don't want to be around you. If you don't read, if you don't like to work out, if you all want to do is just freaking watch TV, do this and do that, that's not moving us together towards living a better life, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be your friend. And by all means, do whatever it is that you want. I don't care. Your life is your life, and I'm not one to tell anybody how to run their life, but I don't want to be a part of it. Like, I want to live my life in a really amazing way where I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, while being joyful. That's really what I strive my life to be, which I'm currently living. Like, I love what I do. I love talking to people. I love communicating people. I love helping people. I love just being able to know that my ATMs are being taken care of. I love making relationships with new friends that are in business. I have way better friends now than what I used to have, and people would love to be my friend, and I'm like, hey, you know what, like, get your shit together before you become my friend. Not that I'm not telling anybody not to be my friend, but at the same time, like, my time is valuable, you know, and people need to understand that your time is also valuable, where you can't just give your time to just anyone. You know, you have to make sure that you pick your friends correctly. Make sure that your friends that you're hanging out with are actually moving you towards your goal as well and influence you to become a better person. So it sucks at first. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know a lot of my friends where they kind of like distance themselves from me and were like, hey, you know what? This guy's a whole different person. And I just became different where like they feel weird around me. They feel intimidated around me. And I could care less, dude. Like, if anything, I encourage them to be better. They can always ask me for help, and I always help them. But I'm also not going to be making them drink the water, right? Like, I can lead them to the water, but I'm not going to make them drink the water. You know that. You know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, dude, it sometimes can get lonely. Like, sometimes I'm just doing my shit. I'm going out by myself. I'm doing this. I'm meeting new people. And that's just kind of life. Like, I think a lot of people kind of stick to their old friends because they're comfortable, stick to their old friends because they feel like they're not going to be able to make new friends. Like, you know how many people there are in the world? Do you realize how many people there are in the world? You can make friends everywhere. And a lot of the relationships that I build and a lot of the ways that I even make money now, it's because of relationships. Like, I love making new friends. I love talking to new people. I love just talking in general. And that's why I make these videos, and that's why I missed it, because I love just talking. And I was just destined to talk. I'm a talker. I love it. And then the last couple of days when I was getting followers back on the YouTube channel, I was like, fuck, you know, like, I miss it. I want to make videos again. But at this time, I want to take it to a whole nother level. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to go ahead and start taking this whole entire thing to a whole nother level. I already talked to my editor, told him the plans, and I've got a lot of things in, like, already in track for you guys where, dude, the next 5 videos are already, like, I already know what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to start doing this consistently where, like, I'm locked in, dude. I've never had this amount of energy in my life where things are just going to work out, and I know it. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, my life is just freaking great, and it's not just me trying to put on a show. Like, you talk to me every single day. I have this amount of energy that people think that I'm, like, on something, and it's like, this is just me, dude. Like, I'm happy to wake up every single day because I'm happy to go to work. I'm happy to do what I want. I'm happy. I'm, like, with everything I do. Like, it's crazy. And unfortunately, like, I had to go to a small little period where I wasn't posting this stuff because I was trying to fix a lot of this stuff. And now that it's fixed, I can tell you guys about what I went through and how I fixed it. And now it's just a matter of like making this thing like a reality, which is just making more videos, making more content, and taking you guys with me. Where I want to talk to you guys about sales, I want to talk to you guys about business, I want to talk to you guys about construction, and literally like just living a better life. So I am going to start bringing more hosts. I'm going to start bringing more people onto the show. I told you guys I was going to wait until 1,000 subscribers, but you said, you know what? I don't care. Let's start bringing hosts on. I actually already made my first video with somebody. It's somebody that I went ahead and used to coach when he just started as a personal trainer, and he's already on his route to making his first 6 figures. In fact, he already made $10,000 a month as a personal trainer, and that video is going to be coming out soon. If anything, I think I'm going to drop this video before I drop that video because I want you guys to see my comeback first. And dude, tell me how you guys like the new background. Like, I think this background is the best background I've ever had. I think I look the best now. I don't know what to say, guys, but moving forward today, life has really flipped over for me. I have a lot more reinvestments. I'm taking things a lot more aggressively because I am getting to that age where I need to get my stuff together by 32. You know, and this is like 5 years, guys. It's not like next year I need to be here and here. Like, no, it's a 5-year thing that I have going on. And the same thing, like I tell people, it just takes time. I didn't grow my ATM business to over 40, 50 ATMs in just a matter of a year. Like, it took me 4 years to even get where I'm at with the ATMs. And those things have been saving my life. Like, it was one of the best things that I ever did. And I have a couple more things in place for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up in my DMs. I am very, very active in Instagram. So you guys want to see my current daily lifestyle, hit me up there. I'm going to try to do more stuff with you guys online and try to evolve a lot of my personal brand when it comes to like my work, because I want to start getting self-generated leads. So I'll probably start talking more about roofing sales and how that works. So if a lot of you guys are into just sales or trying to get into the construction game, because you can sell anything, guys. You can sell roofing, you can sell windows, you can sell solar, you can sell freaking concrete, you can sell foundation issues, you can sell anything in the construction game, and it's all the same thing. Once you learn the product, you can sell anything. Sales is very like systematized if you figure out the system, and I'll share you guys the system that I use one point. Besides that, guys, like, it is August. I'm excited. I got a couple things planned out for this year. It's like I'm not traveling probably anymore for the rest of the year because I got to pay off this debt. But soon enough, next year going into it, I have a couple trips. I'm going to Ibiza next year, probably going to Greece, and I might go to Colombia next year. So stay in store for that. Life is great, guys. So besides that, I hope you guys learned a couple lessons from me today with all these 5 things that I told you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be making more videos consistently. Every single week I'm going to be dropping a video. So let me know what you guys want to be hearing about. If not, then I'm just going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. Besides that, make sure you guys like the video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.